Hey friends, welcome back. So today, or I should say tonight, I'm in the middle of prepping for a jazz recording session that I'm doing in New York tomorrow. So I'm back in Ohio, but so all my gear is here at my studio, so I'm getting this all prepped to drive into the city for a couple of days of gigs that starts with this jazz recording session. So I figured I would give you guys a look at the rig. So we are going to be taking 20 channels of audio in. And we are doing this via our Presonus Studiolive 24r. I figured that this would probably be the easiest way to do this gig. It's pretty simple, and I'm going to have a car full of stuff, so I'm trying to keep this rig to a minimum footprint. So let's take a look at the session here. So the front end obviously is the Presonus Studiolive. So on here, this is my this is just the universal control software, which is kind of cool because I can color code all my inputs. That's nice, and I can have some really nice routing options. So everything's color coded. It's all super nice. And then I can set my preamp levels here, so I can do that either on the computer or with my iPad. So I'm going to be recording this in Nuendo, and then here are the channels. So we're going to take kick, which is going to be an AKG D112, a snare SM57, because that's what you do. And then I also have a cheap MXL condenser mic that I tape to the 57, which I'll show you in a second. So that'll be my snare top, Tom 1, Tom 2, our Sennheiser E604s. That's going to be just something super simple. This is a jazz session. We're not looking for a huge rack tom sound. Hi-hat, again, just another cheapy little MXL mic. Overhead hat and overhead ride. These are going to be AKG 451s. And I do like to label my drum kit hi-hat and ride overhead. It takes the ambiguity out of left and right. Bass DI, which is going to be an Avalon U5. Our bass mic is going to be an Audix D6. I'll pause for cringes there, but it's really nice on an upright bass. Key low, key high, those are going to be Audio-Technica ATM 450 side address condensers that are going to be clamped into the piano shell. Trombone is going to be a Shure SM7. Tenor sax is going to be an MD451. Alto is also going to be an MD451. Trumpet, I'm bringing a 57 for that, but the trumpet player is bringing a ribbon. I think it's a Royer. It's not a 121, but it's something else. Room, as I'm calling house right and house left, those are going to be shotgun. Audio-Technicas, I can't remember what the numbers are for that. And I also have an MS Omni and an MS Figure 8. So I'm going to take the room in an MS pattern with Audio-Technica AT 4050s in Figure 8 and in Omni. So here's my Tascam DM3200 if anybody wants to buy that. I still haven't put it on eBay yet. So here's the mics. So this is the SM7. I do have a custom case for it from LM Cases. Shout out to LM Cases for product placement. If you want a cool SM7 case, I'll drop a link for that below. Here's my 451s. 421s. There's our 4050s. So here's all the mics basically laid out. Just ready to go here. I'm a visual kind of guy. I like to look at everything and make sure that it's all plugged in. Here's our U5 again. Shout out to LM. It's an LM case for that. Cables. I've got a bunch of little 6-foot shorties right here that are going into sub-snakes, a couple of 25-footers. I'm also realizing that I don't have a lot of black cables. I just have these colored recording ones, so maybe I'll make some cables really quick before I go on the road tomorrow. And just a little sub-snake. And I also, over here, you know it's serious, there's 2 backpacks laid out. Over here, we've just got all of our mic stands, a mixture of K&M and Tama. So anyway, that's the rig all prepped in the living room here. I'll catch up with you guys in New York. All right, everybody, we just finished up the session today. I was thinking that I was going to get a little bit more time to do this at the beginning, but here we're at the end. So just wanted to show you all the setup. So we're at ibeam Studios, or it's a rehearsal spot in Gowanus, Brooklyn. So here's our drum kit. Here's all the mics set up. So this is a typical jazz kit, 18-inch floor tom, 5.5 by 14 snare, 10-inch or a 12-inch and a 14-inch floor tom. So, you know, jazz as far as recording goes, it's top down. So, you know, individual close mics on the drums aren't as important as it would be for a rock session. So, for the kick, I've got a D112 on the snare top here. This is a little mongoloid creation that I have here, where there's a 57 and a cheap little MXL condenser mic that are taped together, that I've always gotten really good results with. I'm using the MXL mic because I don't want something too expensive there, so in case the drummer whacks it, it's going to be okay. Toms are just little 604s. I have them pointed pretty close to the edge of the shell here. I want to get as much low end, you know, jazz toms are pretty high, so this is going to give me any low end that I can muster from these guys in the mix. You know, all of the attack from the toms are going to come from the overheads. And speaking of, super simple 451s as overheads. I've got them pretty wide. So the drummer took his cymbals, so you can't really get a good perspective as to what was going on here, but they are both pointed in at the snare. So here's our hat side, and here is our ride side. So here's just another view of the kit. As far as bass goes, the whole session was done on an upright bass, which I took with a D6 pointed at the bridge. I've also got my Avalon U5 just to take the DI. So on the piano, which, you know, we did do full stick on this today. Here are the piano mics. These are Audio-Technica ATM 25s. These are really useful mics, especially with pianos. I've done a lot of sessions with these, both recording and live. So I've got, these are called film tools. These are Cardellini clamps to get in here. And I use these on pianos a lot, just because you can close the lid if need be. Very sturdy. I generally carry those Cardellini clamps in my kit all the time. So if I'm doing a live session or anything that requires miking of a piano, I can always get it in there. And they're also nice little problem solvers. So, you know, typical piano miking, one right where the strings cross, and the other one is just right in the center. And I got really good rejection on this today. I was really happy. Looking at our close mics, this is alto sax. We're just doing that with a 421. Trumpet is with a 57. Tenor sax is with a 421. And then I also have a little mini Cardellini clamp here on this music stand that was they had a request for a flute, and I just luckily had another little cheapy MXL mic with me, so I could accommodate that request. So Cardellini clamps rock. If you are not hip with them, you should check them out. So this is just clipped onto his music stand, just to grab the flute for the one section of the song. And last, we've got the SM7 on the old trombone. So if we swing this around over here, our room mics, here we've got 2 shotguns that are pointed up at the ceiling, and I've got a little MS situation here at the back. This got moved there, MS. And then here's my little recording rig of just everything. So just using the Presonus into Nuendo. So we'll hear from John now, who it was his session. All right, so we just finished up our session. We're with John Lake. John, tell us about your session and what we just did today.
My session was it was a video recording session in this practice studio that I have called ibeam here in Brooklyn, in Gowanus. My band is a septet, so it's trumpet, alto, saxophone, tenor saxophone, and trombone, and then piano, bass, drums. It's an acoustic jazz septet. The room is not a studio. It's just like a very live practice room, but it has great, great vibes, as you can see. And I'm just very comfortable performing here and practicing here. So, yeah, session went great. We did like 4 hours. I think we got 3 or 4 takes of 4 different songs. So I'm pretty happy with the way it came out.
All right, so John, I forgot to get this in our last one. This is very low budget production here.
Okay.
So name of your group.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess it's the John Lake Ensemble.
And where can we find more info about you?
I have an album out everywhere. It's just John Lake, JOHNLAKE. And then the septet, I have other videos of this particular group in this location available on YouTube that were also done by the man behind the camera.
The YouTube?
The YouTube.
You got him down here to film it?
Listen, man, it's New York City. We're not playing around. It's a big deal.
All right, well, check it out.
Yeah.